Oh, Sitar, I almost forgot. Remember the trip I told you about that we took to Canada, I and your dad? And we stopped at Monticello and took a tour there, but we were on a budget and wanted to see some of the historic sites, but there was only so much money that we had, so we had to go to Canada. I was going to first stop at Philadelphia and see the Constitutional Convention Center, but it had been raining so much and we were sleeping in the car and we were tired, so we decided just to go through and go drive all the way up to Canada. And let me show you on the map actually. See, we left Oklahoma and we gradually went over here to Monticello, okay? That's Charlottesville, okay? And then what I decided to go, we went to Chancellorsville, one of the Civil War battle sites. Like I said, we just spent half a day there because I couldn't stay anymore. So we just drove through all the places we could. I tried to drive through every state and go all the way up. We went through Rome, New York, because I worked with a guy, him and his wife from there, so I just wanted to see that and tell him that I'd seen it. And we went to Ottawa because that's where my brother and his wife were living. And then I remember I told you about the trip that I took inside Quebec. I went up there. But on our way back, I decided to come down and guess where to go? I went to Boston. We actually drove through Boston at night and I went to Concord. Why Concord before coming back? And I'll show you a couple of names. Okay. Before we went on that trip, because I was reading a lot, I've come across a group of writers that I just admired a lot. One of them, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and the younger guy was Henry David Thoreau. The first reason, actually, the main reason at first I liked this guy, Thoreau, was because in one of his writings I came across a paragraph that he'd written about one of my favorite Persian poets, Sadi, that had impressed me a lot when I was in 11th grade. So I said, wait a minute, how does this guy know about Sadi? So I started reading more, then I read some of Emerson's works, and I was like, man, these guys are really awesome. And they were part of a group called Transcendentalists. And you can read more about these groups and how they came to feel and believe the things they did. But Thoreau, because he was a naturalist, he loved being out there in nature. He really had impressed me. So I wanted to go to where they lived. And Thoreau had lived by a pond called Walden Pond, and he'd written a book about it. So I wanted to go there when I wanted us to be there actually when it was quiet, where there was not too many people around. So we drove through Boston at night. We got to Concord late night, slept in the car, woke your dad up early in the morning. We got out. We walked around the Walden. We went by where Thoreau's cabin would have been. And it was really beautiful because it was quiet. Just birds, nature, and us. And I took some videos, but unfortunately lost them. I wish we had some cameras. I wish I'd taken a camera. Well, make sure you tell your parents to read a couple of books to you. These are for young readers. Okay, they're They would be for early teens, or maybe somebody a little older than 3, 4 year old, but they can still read them to you. And then when you grow up, you can actually read their own works. There's a book, a biography by Milton Meltzer. It's called Henry David Thoreau, a biography. And there's another one by Stephen Olson. It's a Library of American Thinkers. It's for younger people. It's called Henry David Thoreau, American Naturalist, Writer, and Transcendentalist. So anyways, that was the great part of our trip. On our way up there, stopping at Monticello, and then going to that battle site, and then driving through all those highways and byways, through all those little states, all the way up to Canada, and spending a week there, driving into Quebec for one day, and letting those people give me dirty looks, which I don't blame them. They were wanting me to be able to speak French, which is totally understandable. Here I am telling you need to be bilingual, trilingual. But anyways, on our way back, I didn't want to miss the chance of going to Concord and spending one night there, one quiet night. So make sure you read those guys, because Thoreau also talked about simple living, which is something that I've always believed in. Ever since I visited the villages in Iran, that impressed me. Of course, it took me a while to mature and kind of reflect on it and think about it, see why simple living is good. So it takes a while. For different people, it just takes longer for some people than others. Anyways, had a wonderful time. I'm so glad I got to be around Mamani till he passed away. She was a beautiful person. All right, till we meet again. By the way, I'm recording these because I'm going to go on a volunteer mission, so I might not be able to read these books to you. So I'm just leaving you some reminders, if I'm not around, what your parents got to read to you.